Dibs, you're a dad. I'm a dad. I can't imagine how good that must have felt.
Yeah, the culmination of everything, and then to see your son up there after getting the real award, NBA championship, to get this award on that stage, and to thank you for all you did as a dad growing up to help him. It had me getting emotional just hearing it.
So, Mychal Thompson, how did it feel?
Felt really good, man. Very happy for Klay. Happy for all the recipients last night who were honored, rewarded, recognized for their ESPYs and their contributions. But yeah, to see Klay up there, to see how his journeys, come back to this level, just so thankful and so blessed to be in this situation. And you just have to wake up every day just grateful and giving thanks, and never take one single healthy day for granted. This is when you see people suffering from cancer, the way they are, little kids like Dick Vitale was talking about, just puts everything in perspective, man. Yeah, Klay came back from a very serious couple injuries, no question about it. But what other people have battled through and surviving cancer and battling cancer doesn't compare to what those people have suffered through and are suffering through. But still, very thankful to see Klay back to where he's doing what he wants to do.
And we're so appreciative of Klay because he has that presence about him, appreciating his life and how lucky he is to have grown up with you as his father, NBA player, NBA broadcaster. What was it like during those Kobe years when you were able to bring Klay and your other kids with you to watch Mamba in action?
Well, he wasn't the lucky one. I was the lucky one, or the blessed one. I don't believe in luck. I believe in blessings and rewards. So I was the blessed one to have him as a son, to have Trace as a son, and Mychal, my other boys, I have my three boys as sons. As you guys know, as parents, we're the ones who are blessed. They're not lucky. We're the lucky ones. We're the blessed ones, not them, to have them as our children. But, yeah, you're right, to be able to take him to Staples Center, now Crypto.com Arena, but to take Staples Center back then, it made my job easy when it comes to basketball, because I could take him to Staples Center and says, there's Kobe, go talk to him. And then Kobe would take the time and be gracious enough to talk to Klay and other young people like Klay, who are basketball players who are coming up, and he would tell them about the right way to approach the game, the right way to play, to have passion for the game. So, yeah, you can hear that from your parents all the time, but when you have a legend, an icon like Kobe, give that kind of advice, I could just sit back and relax and say, I'll let Kobe handle it, because he's going to listen to that guy probably more than he would listen to me.
No doubt. Mychal Thompson with us here on 95.7 The Game. Mychal, you know what I've never asked you, and we've talked about this a lot. You've always, whenever we speak of seemingly the rise of major injuries, when you'd think it would go the other way as health and medicine get better and people get bigger, stronger, faster, you've always told me about the fact that you only suffered one major injury in your career, and it was that broken leg, and you attribute that to when basketball ended, you would put basketball away for the offseason, and I know you would go play tennis. I've never asked you what your thought is on that with regard to Klay, because he did have, obviously, two major tendon injuries. And have you guys ever talked about that? Do you feel like he, stuck maybe with basketball too often in the offseason, or what does he do in his off seasons?
Yeah, that is something we talked about, and I used to tell him about my routine when I played, because back in my day, I sound like an old timer, an old grumpy old guy.
Well, you are.
I always tell him this. Yeah, I tell him the story. I said, listen, man, in my day when we played, there was no such thing as load management. I used to tell him I used to average 38 minutes a game. And it was something we did. We traveled commercial, so it wasn't as... And believe me, I like the way that they do it now. Not the load management part. I'm a Jerry West on that. I hate load management. If you're healthy, go out and play. You can reduce the minutes if you don't want to play as many minutes. That's how you load manage. But don't sit out games, because people pay, especially if you're a star. If you're a guy on the end of the bench, nobody cares if you're load managed. But if you are a star in this league, you got to play minutes. You got to play every night, because people are paying to come see you play. But anyway, I would tell them in the off season, I love basketball, but once the season ended, I don't touch a ball again until about 3 weeks before training camp. What I would do, that doesn't mean, folks, I'm sitting around eating bonbons on the couch like Peggy Bundy. I was out there. You remember Peggy Bundy?
Oh yeah.
On Married Children, she loved bonbons. I would be out there playing tennis. I would be riding my bikes on the hills of Oregon. I would be golfing. I would be lifting weights in the weight room every day, 5-6 days a week. So I was active. I just stayed away from basketball to give my body a chance to recover from the basketball stress. And then I'd pick it up again about 2-3 weeks before camp. But I went into camp in shape and body fat of 8%. So it wasn't like I was sitting around. So I would advise guys, yeah, you can go to the gym and shoot. But as far as playing and stuff like that, you should, especially the minutes that these guys play, the big-time players, give your body a chance to recover in the off-season by just doing other things to keep your other muscles in tune.
And Klay, by the way, 33 minutes a game for his career, coming off 29 a game last year. Would you anticipate that he's approaching this offseason like the pre-injury offseasons, or is he working a little bit more on general fitness to try to get back to that pre-injury Klay endurance?
Yeah, he's working out. He's not playing the scrimmaging, of course, but he's shooting. He's going to the gym, getting the shots up. He's doing his body work, lower body work to get his legs stronger again. So he's not sitting around this summer. Klay, plus he's not that kind of a guy. Klay is too active. He takes after his mother's side of the family. He doesn't take after the Thompson side of the family. He takes after the Leslie side of the family. The Leslie clan cannot sit still. They've got to be busy, and that's how Klay is. He's got to be doing something. So he's not going to sit around anyway, but he loves to go work out and work on his shot and stuff because he's a gym rat.
Gosh, I bet that drives you nuts through the years because I know you got that Bahamian thing where you'll just sit there forever.
Yeah, you're right. I do like to have my days off, but I tell you, when I was playing though, I was a workout fiend. I was in the gym. Matter of fact, me and Kermit Washington, I'm proud of this fact too. Me and Kermit Washington were like pioneers when it came to weight training in the NBA. You got to remember, this was back in the late 70s, early 80s, where they used to discourage players from lifting weights. Now it's kind of mandatory. But me and Kermit Washington and myself, I should say, we started the weight lifting trend. And that took a while to catch on, but we were way ahead of the game when it talked about getting into the gym and lifting weights. I used to go to Gold's Gym down here in Venice, the Mecca of bodybuilding. And I used to go in there and train next to Mr. Olympia and Mr. America and stuff like that. And I say, look at me, boys. I look better than y'all.
So you'd be out there on the beach at Venice shirtless with all those beefcakes out there pressing plates?
Did we lose him?
Man, maybe he had to go do some reps.
Wow.
He had to go
you offended him.
Curls.
You offended him with the word beefcake.
Yeah, maybe.
That was it.
Maybe.
Can we get him back? Because it definitely had a couple more things. I want to ask him about Grant Williams saying, we do have him? No, we do not have him. Okay. Let us know when we got Mychal back.
What were you saying you wanted to ask him?
I want to ask him about Grant Williams saying that he can confidently state that the Celtics were the better team. Because I have a feeling somebody who has championship pedigree like Mychal does, I got to wonder about a response to that. Because, again, I think it's irrelevant. I also like your point, which is like, well, how do we define the word better? Okay, we got Mychal back. Mychal, you good? You hear us?
Yeah, what was I talking about? I was talking about working out in Gold's Gym.
Yeah.
We were talking about bodybuilding in Venice Beach.
Yeah, talking about you body-shaming Mr. America in Venice.
Mr. Olympia.
That's right, baby. I used to be working out right next to guys who used to compete at Mr. Olympia and stuff like that. And I used to be up there flexing right next to him, but I guess I didn't really compare with him.
Mychal Thompson with us, Klay's dad, as I now refer to him here on 95.7 The Game. Hey, Mychal, Grant Williams of the Boston Celtics yesterday with the quote that he can confidently state the Warriors were not the better team. What's your reaction to that?
That's okay. It doesn't bother me when players think that. He's supposed to think that they are the better team. He's a competitor. And it's okay for him to feel that way. Now, obviously, the Warriors proved him wrong, but it's okay to have that kind of feeling in your heart. I'm sure in 2016, when the Warriors lost to the Cavaliers, they thought they were the better team. They just happened to lose. So that's how all competitors think. Yeah, we're better than them. They beat us, but we know we're better than them. So that doesn't bother me when you hear stuff like that because that's kind of the way you're supposed to think.
How tough is it going to be for the Warriors coming into this year to repeat what they did? What can you do for an encore and the rest of it? How do you avoid complacency when you win a championship to come back the next year and do it again?
Oh, they won't be complacent. You've got three competitors leading the way, and Draymond, Steph, and Klay, who they've got 4, but they want to get to 5. They want to get to 6. I can guarantee you they probably won't say it publicly, but I can guarantee they're probably thinking, man, if we can only match what Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen did, that would be great. Now, forget about Bill Russell. Nobody's going to ever get to 11. So, but 6 is the next standard. And I'm sure the Warriors are thinking, let's get to 6. Let's try to match what Jordan and Pippen did. So they're going to be very motivated. And they're going to be, I think, the favorites again because you got them young guys now coming up behind them ready to take the next step. You got James Wiseman added to the mix. So I think they're the favorites if they're with good health to do it again. But it's going to be tough because Memphis is going to be improved. Phoenix ain't going anywhere. And, of course, Milwaukee in the East is going to be a beast. So it's going to be tough, but the Warriors are definitely capable of winning it again. And don't forget about my Lakers. We're going to be right back in the mix, baby.
Well, Mychal, let's have a quick conversation about these two teams and Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Let's start with Durant and at least this idea, even if it's just that, of the Warriors getting involved in that conversation. Does that make any sense to you?
Well, yeah, Kevin Durant is that great of a player, so he's tempting to anyone. But I like what the Warriors are doing now because I like their youth behind the three icons. Because what that does is that allows Draymond, Klay, and Steph to age more slowly. Because now you got Moody, Weissman, Kuminga, Andrew Wiggins, and Poole behind the three icons. And those guys can play a lot of minutes and not have to have Klay, Steph, and Draymond play a lot of minutes. They can get a lot of rest because they've got such good young players behind them to take up the slack.
So Kevin Durant probably not coming to Golden State. Kyrie Irving certainly on the move. Talk about maybe him going to the Lakers, your Lakers. What do they do in L.A. with the Russell Westbrook problem? And do you see Kyrie rejoining LeBron down there with you?
I can see it happening, but if it doesn't, obviously Russell Westbrook's hearing himself what's going on. It's tough to be in that situation as a veteran player, a Hall of Famer, to know that your name is being thrown around in trade offers. That's part of the business. That's part of the game. We all understand that. But, if Kyrie doesn't move and he stays there, and by the way, if Kyrie stays in Brooklyn, he's going to play his tail off because this is his contract year. So he's going to want to audition and have a great season to prove to other teams that he's worth a long-term deal next year for someone. So whatever is going to happen with Kyrie, wherever he ends up or doesn't end up, he's going to play at an all-star level, all-NBA level, because he wants to prove he's still that guy. But as far as the Lakers are concerned, we're going to be fine. We put together some nice pieces. No, we're not the favorites, but I think Russell Westbrook, being the pro that he is, will do what he has to do.
Mychal Thompson with us here on 95.7 The Game. Mychal, before you go, the popular thought is the first year after major injury, you're still building, and then it's the next year where you're fully yourself again. Do you see that for Klay? Is he going to be even better next year than last year?
Yeah, I thought he was fine last year. You guys overlooked his defense. You guys remember his defense? He was playing in the finals. That's the part that I was most concerned with. Will he be able to slide his feet defensively and stay in front of guys the way he did in the past? And he did that. He played great defense against two of the best scorers in the game in Brown and Tatum. So if you can defend those two guys, stay in front of those two guys, you're fine. So, yeah, Klay's going to be even better next year because he will have off-season to train and further away from his injury, so he's going to be just fine.
My man, we love having you. Thank you for coming on today.
Got to go work out.
There he goes, straight to Venice Beach, and it's Beefcake time. Mychal Thompson on Willard and Dibs, 95.7 again.
Still putting in the work. You got to love it, even though he's sitting at 67 and a half years of age. Doesn't sound a day over 50.